Got the horizontal offset fired up today. Got 4 shoulders on, 2 for a friend, 2 more, as well as a brisket with the flat separated from the point for pie filling. That's right, pie filling. The pastor at my wife's church is a baker. I'm a smoker. He asked me if I wouldn't collaborate on some meat pies for a pie auction this weekend, but that's not why you're here. Hello, barbecue enthusiasts. It is Wednesday, April 27th, 2022, and if you found this video, I'm sorry. That having been said, it is all but certain you know you are looking at a Komodo Kamado 42-inch serious big bad. There's a reasonable amount of information out there on Komodo Kamados, but not a lot on this model, so I thought I'd put this out there in case it would be useful to anyone. As far as production Kamados go, this very probably represents the pinnacle in quality as far as this model goes, size, and of course, expense. Not that I owe an explanation to anyone but the better half, but a little bit how this cooker was selected. Though the grills and live fire pits do their job very well, it occurred to me a number of years ago that it'd be nice to have a cooker that was capable of 2 things. A lot more versatility, the ability to do anything low and slow all the way up to hot and fast, like pizza hot and fast, and also a set it and forget it aspect. And I had looked at pellet grills before, so I started looking into those, and along the way, the Kamado kind of came on the horizon. It had been below my radar before for whatever reason. And the thing that I liked about the Kamado was no electricity required, no specialty fuels, maybe, no electronics, moving parts, augers, that sort of thing. And it appears increasingly anymore software updates, that sort of thing. I'm not a gadget guy. I'm not a techie. I don't want to have to deal with any of that stuff. And the Kamado seemed to come by all of its qualities honestly. So it wasn't too far down the research road into Kamados that I came across the Komodo. And in the vein of buy nice or buy twice, I determined at that point that I wouldn't bother with a Kamado until I could swing a Komodo Kamado. Okay, enough of that. Into the meat and potatoes of the video. Again, I hope the lighting on this works out all right. A little close to the wall here. Okay, so they have a reputation for very high quality, and that's certainly borne out in personal inspection. I had never seen one of these except in videos and in photographs until it arrived at the house and I got it unwrapped. Let's open her up. Look, Ma, no muscles. So this has obviously not been fired up yet. I'm kind of gnawing at the bit to be able to do that. I wanted to do this while it still had new grill smell on it. Actually, all I can smell is the cooker behind me, and it smells delicious. The features on this are very similar to the other Kamados, especially the next smallest model, the 32-inch. I'll try not to dwell on anything and make this as brief as possible while still trying to cover everything for thoroughness. Why don't we start at the ground and work our way up? So this particular model is, as with all of them, the difference on this one is that it has 6 casters. There are 2 center supports there. And as you can see, these casters, oh, that one's kind of floating. So is that one. On a little bit of uneven ground here, so that's probably why. As you can see, these casters are metal, but they have a rubber rim on them. And I can tell you that it rolls around pretty good on a smooth surface. But trying to maneuver it into a tight space, it takes a little bit of coaxing to get all 6 casters thinking in the same directions. You've seen this in other videos. You've got, whoops. You've seen this in other videos. You have your, I guess this is a multi-purpose. There's a ash deflector on the inside there, and this is also your air vent, obviously, and then you can utilize it as a clean out. This comes out entirely. So, and it doesn't quite seat. If this is as sensitive to airflow as I've been led to believe, that may be something I have to address. But you've got two wheels over here. You've got a coarse adjustment where you can set that. There's a single hole back there and a variety of sizes here. And then you've got a fine adjustment here with some wetness marks and everything else. So once you find the sweet spot, you have a reference point. So on the side over here, one of the things I like about these grills, this particular make, is, and it's probably partly by design, it would be hard to customize a lot of this stuff. It's probably just easier to make them all the same way. But there isn't a whole heck of a lot as far as options are concerned, and the grill comes configured to accept each one of those. This is another ash clean out slash, you could mount a gas burner in there. You can kind of see through the opening here, some holes where that would mount. I did not get that. And there is an identical door on the other side on this pit. I think that's unique to the 42-inch. We'll just go around the other side real quickly here, so you can see that one. Now this one is very hard to coax out. In fact, the only way I've found to really reliably get it out is to remove that deflector on the other side, and then this will slide right out. The deflector slides over some sleeves, and then this slides into inside those sleeves. So this one's a little tough to remove. Some tweaking or whatever might do that. You've got your black knobs on everything here. The older photographs of these were in teak. I love teak. They've lacquered these or painted them black, which is fine. It's weatherproof and everything else. It's personal choice, but I think the teak color adds a touch of class personally. So now over here, if you're a gadget guy, you can put your, I think they're Gurus or whatever your little temperature control fans are. I don't really know how they work. I've never used one before. I don't intend to use that. If this functions as advertised, if this grill functions as advertised, this seems superfluous to me. So you really shouldn't need that. Once you get everything set up over here, it should cook fairly steadily as long as you have fuel in it, is my understanding. So up here, you've got a port for, that requires obviously a slotted deal. I haven't removed that yet. This is the cold smoke generator. I did order one as an option. Even though I'm not a gadget guy, I do have one of those coming. More on that later. But that's where that device goes in. A little higher up on both sides here. Now again, the grill comes standard with this stuff. You don't have to order any of it extra. You have some probe ports, two of them, one on each side. And I've been keeping it warm in my pocket here. Oh yeah, it's nice and soft. It includes some little rubber or silicone. It looks like rubber. It doesn't feel like silicone. Glands that goes in here and seals up that port around the cable for your temperature probe. So if you're inclined to use those, you have that option. Over here, you've got your socket for your rotisserie. The screen keeps going out on this thing, so I have to bump it, turn it back on. I can't see what I'm doing otherwise. So, and I have already mounted. I got the optional side tables. This is the mount for that. I've already put that on, obviously. If you're not going to use those, just imagine this gone and you've just got this plate back behind here. And then I'm going to cover the options later. I ordered one option that for whatever reason did not come with the grill. Another one came incomplete, so there's no point in trying to cover that here. If there's any interest in that whatsoever, you can catch that in another video. So, and then this is a hanger. It just clips onto the side. The hanger on the other side will not work if you stow the table, and when we get to accessories, I'll show you why, and that's going to be in another video. Got a couple of accessory bolts here, and I'll show you what that's about here a little later. That was a pleasant surprise. This is just general features. This has been well covered in other videos, but obviously very thick. These things are made out of refractory cement. It's more like a concrete. Another layer of insulation is vermiculite. I had to look it up. Vermiculite has a lot of properties and uses. Among them, of course, is insulation. And then finally on the exterior, you've got a layer of acrylic grout, insulation, whatever. This both sticks the tiles to the outside of the cooker, and also fills the spaces between the tiles, just like any other tile job in your bathroom or kitchen or wherever else. But this is a kind of an aerospace, space age type stuff. It has some elastic properties, so it will expand and contract with the grill as it heats up and cools down. There is a burn-in process on that, and I may show that later. If you're interested in the burn-in, there is a guy that has done some really good videos on explaining all that and shows the process. I hope I'm not violating any interweb or etiquette type stuff, YouTube etiquette, but his channel is Kamado Cooking with a K, kind of like you'd spell kook, not implying that he is, I-N-G. And I'll put something on the screen here so you can look up his channel. But he's got a good series of videos, both much better than mine, the tour and the burn-ins. So let's see, what am I forgetting here? Yeah, it's pretty much everything you need to make the thing function. Oops, turned off the camera by accident. So you've got a silicone gasket, both top and bottom, to seal this thing up. Very heavy-duty latch here, 2 positions. You got a first position here. I'd have to use 2 hands to get that down and latch it entirely. I guess I can do that. Take some pressure. There we go. Spring-loaded. The 42 has 2 springs. Everything else, I believe, let me close that lid again so you can see those. So 2 springs back here, and as I say, I believe the other models have but 1, but got a much bigger lid here. So you got your backing plates for the springs here. Yeah, everything else is pretty obvious. Very simple thermometer setup. It just pokes right through a hole in there, and get a little clip to retain it here. You've got this damper up here is substantial, as is the hardware that goes with it. So not much to say there, though I understand when you shut this down, you want to make sure that you don't get that too tight because it can jam. And this thing will wobble. The Komodo website has a forum. There's some useful information there. You get kind of the typical chaff you'd find in any other forum, but there is some good information there. So it's if you have any questions, that's probably a good place to go to ask them, or just do a little research in the archives and you'll find what you need to know. I think that's about it, trying to keep this moving along. These are the deflectors, of course, that I'd mentioned before, all removable. These come with wing nuts on them. You can leave those on to secure everything. I don't know why you'd need to do that if it's sitting on your patio. So, but these just slide right off. Gives you good access to the firebox down here, so you can clean out your ash and everything. These slide off just as easily. As I say, for some reason this one is just a little wonky. It's really tight. It does come off, and once this is off, then that door on the right hand side of the cooker over here slides right off. Got your mounting holes for the optional gas burner on both sides on this. I think it's the only grill that has it on both sides. You've got your sockets up here. Again, this is included. It's not anything extra. So if you don't order this with a rotisserie, or if you don't order it with a gas burner, or if you don't order it with the cold smoke generator or anything else, you still get all this stuff, so you can upgrade at a later date. So anyway, you've got this stuff here. Parts were missing on my rotisserie again, so I'm not going to bother with any of the accessories until everything is complete. Not that anybody wants to see it anyway. What am I forgetting inside? Once you fired this up, do not remove these. They've got a warning thing. I think I took a picture of that. I did do an uncrating video. Depending on how long this runs, I may add that to the end of this. Otherwise, it'll be a separate video I'll upload about the same time. I am not a tech guy. People, our internet, our computers, everything are ancient. It takes me forever to edit, upload, and everything else. So, yeah, I'm not your typical YouTuber. I'm not looking for views or anything else. This is simply so that if anybody finds this useful, they have the information. So, because I know I like this kind of stuff. Okay, I just had to tend the fire on the other pit over here. Again, being a live fire pit requires regular attention. But I'm going to show you everything that came with the cooker. This is a charcoal basket, and I was a little bit surprised when I got this. It wasn't what I was expecting. On the website and the few photographs or videos I'd seen that showed the charcoal basket, showed it pretty much just open at one end, covered at the other, with the thing sliding. This one has two firewalls, and I assume that's so you can center your charcoal. You got this over here. You probably can't see it in this, but the rod's attached here. They're welded at this end of the rod, that the guide rods that this slides on. And at the other end, the rod just slides into a collar, which is also threaded, and you've got a bolt up here. So anyway, you can configure this pretty much any way you want as far as I can tell. So you can I spent about an hour. It was a little perplexing. I spent about an hour in the garage the other day just taking this apart, moving stuff around and that sort of thing. So yeah, and I forgot to bring them out. Hang on a second. Okay, so you've got these things. If you have watched any of the videos, I'm sure you've seen these, so you can kind of adjust all that. I don't know, once you have the firewall in place, how much use these are. If you have charcoal here, what difference would it make whether this was covered or not? Don't know. If anybody has answers to any of this stuff, let me know. But one thing I did notice about this cooker does come with heat deflectors. Something kind of an irregularity, I guess, if you will. I was asked at the last minute whether I wanted the heat deflectors. Never having used one of these, I did. I realized that most people don't use them, and they're probably not necessary. Nonetheless, I kind of wanted to tinker with it. But if you're using your basket splitter here, you cannot put the mounts for the heat deflector in there. These go in these tubes right here. At least I think that's how they're supposed to work, and as you can see, the plate is in the way. So you got to remove all that stuff to be able to put these in. That's part of what I was messing around with the other day. And then I gathered your stones sit on top of this once you get those mounts in. So yeah, still a little vexed as to why you can't use the basket splitter, and because I think on other models they actually have a riser here. So anyway, it is what it is. These are the stones, the heat deflectors. Got a couple more stones. These again are a little perplexing. They don't really fit the shape of anything. They don't seem to work in unison with those. So I'll just have to fiddle with it and try to figure it out. Okay, next up is the lower grate. This is the one that goes right above the firebox. As you can see, you've got these ledges here that the grills, or the grates rather, mount on. So you've got the one in the firebox down here that the charcoal basket goes in, and next one up is for this, and it is in 3 sections. All of this stuff is heirloom quality. These grates are fabricated from 3/8 inch stainless steel rod. Can't remember if I did this already in 3 sections. Anyway, I would describe everything in and about the grill as heirloom quality, and by heirloom quality I mean that once I've succumbed to a heart attack on the way to the refrigerator, or taking a tumble down a flight of stairs under the influence of rum, my wife is going to have to figure out what to do with this stuff, and the next guy who gets it is going to get a lifetime of use out of it. Lower grate installed. Okay, the main grate, just like the other one, but a little larger, of course. Also in 3 sections. So you can use all or any portion of it. Okay, we're getting pretty mundane now, but this is the upper grate, and your pizza stone will sit on top of that if you got one of these. I did. My understanding is you can flip this. I have, and it does fit. You can put this down right over the firebox. And I think, I haven't measured it, but I think it gets it a little closer to the coals than the lower grate, if you want to do any reverse searing. And as I'm sure you've seen, it comes with a generous supply of spares. This is actually a little monkey's claw that came in the crate. So if you don't have a wrecking bar of any kind, you've got that to help you uncrate and demolish. That's a wrench, it says so. That I think is for servicing your springs on the back of the cooker. Scotch-Brite. This is the gasket that goes under the damper up here. Spare silicone gasket for the lid. Spare knobs, also not antique, lacquered. This is something I'm going to need later. Everybody does. This is for the burn ends. So you've got some spare grout here to fill any cracks that may develop, and of course some spare tiles, a spare plug for your probe port, and the little glands for your probe ports, and side plate grill hanger. I suppose if you didn't get the optional grill hanger over here, you'd need that. These apparently come standard. As I mentioned, some of the stuff was not included with the order, so I had to contact them to let them know. And but these were labeled removable teak lid handles, I believe. And these were packaged, very well packaged, inside the crate, standing along the face of the grill. I had not seen these as an option, and they didn't appear, at least as I recall, as any of the standard equipment. So when I contacted them about the missing parts, I wanted to make sure that I didn't get somebody's custom stuff, or it wasn't shipped to me otherwise by accident. And it is not. Apparently this is something that comes standard with. Okay, and finally, this is an accessory. I got 2 of these. This is the table that mounts on the left-hand side of the grill over here. Got another one over here. One is sufficient for demonstration purposes. Even though this is an option, I wanted to show this in case you don't come back to look at the accessories video. You can't go by me. I'm not very excitable, and I guess I'm not very easily impressed. But when I got this, I was like, holy cow, and especially for the cost. I cannot believe the quality of this. The way all this has been inlaid here. The plugs, not all of them align with the grain. I don't care about the color, but you know, I mean, if you're a woodworker, tisk. But apart from that, I mean, it is just really nice. And I realize the owner of the company started out in teak furniture over there. I can't remember if they do recovered teak or how that works, but they're into this, so it makes sense that it would look like this. But it's not just the way this stuff is mortised on the backs, and this is heavy. It's solid. And the stainless steel on this side, I got the stainless. I'm kind of wishing now I'd gotten just the plain teak because it's so gorgeous. I love teak, but I got the stainless because I thought that you know, it's a cooker and you're going to be spilling greasy stuff, and it's going to stain the wood eventually. Especially since this isn't varnished. It looks like an oil treatment of some kind, but this is inlaid. It's not just resting on top. This is an inlay, and very, very nicely done. In fact, you can see on the edge here. I don't know if that'll show up. Got so many fingerprints on the screen I can't see, but you can see that that is inlaid into the wood. So anyway, I am impressed with that. So I think that just about wraps it up. Like I say, I'd like to get the burn in done on this. It is a little different process if you're familiar with a burn in on the cooker like this. You're doing it for entirely different reasons on this. This one is to vent any of the solvent trapped behind the grout here, and moisture or anything else. So the source of some angst and trepidation, I understand, among new Komodo owners. If you have any questions, let me know. I never buy the t-shirt or the ball cap or learn the secret handshake. I'll be as objective as possible in answering, and if I don't know the answer, I'll make one up. Have a dandy day.